All right, we'll start with the Lord's Prayer and we'll go from there. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. All right, guys. Go Broncos, Jimmy Kelly says. Jimmy, what's going on? Jimmy, can I bring you live? Do you have a microphone? Love to bring you live to hear what's going on in Jimmy Kelly land. You do? All right, I'll bring Jimmy live. I don't know have y'all met Jimmy Kelly yet? Jimmy really turned his business around big time. He's an NHBer, and well, I'll let him tell you about it. Jimmy. Got to dig through the list here. Jimmy, there you are. Oh, nope, that was Judith. Sorry, Judith. Let's see. Let's mute Judith. I'm really sorry about that, Judith. I don't know. I can't seem to be able to remute you. It's very strange. Okay. Jimmy is there. Okay, Jimmy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, Jimmy. Can you put the word out on where you're at and how you're doing now?
Things are going pretty good. The business is going well. Signed a lot of other clients since then.
Oh, have you been picking up steam with your day job killer stuff?
Yeah, I'm not even trying to go out and get them at this point. It's just referrals coming to me. So.
They're basically stalkers who want to give you money.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of cool.
And where were you at when you joined NHB? Your business was about to fold.
Yeah, I was about to go under, and we had laid everyone off, so it was not looking good.
So where's your day job killer stuff at now? When you and I first we did an interview right after you started picking up some steam, and Greg loves talking to you. Just so y'all know, we really want to get to introducing you quite a bit more to Jimmy. Jimmy's really brilliant. He's really, really brilliant. But one of the things is, if you ain't got money coming in, it don't matter how brilliant you are, because it sucks. You kind of get stuck. But I'm really looking forward to Jimmy does some just amazing stuff that Greg really wants you to see and learn about. But Jimmy, so you're around the $6,000 per month mark with affiliate stuff, or not with affiliate, with day job killer stuff, with local client consulting. When we did an interview, where are you at now?
Well, shortly after that, we had signed one for a $10,000 a month job, and then
that was the housing company or something like that.
Yeah, and then just last week we did an $8,000 dollars. So it's been some pretty big clients recently, and yeah. I like that because I like doing less client work and more affiliate stuff. But
yeah, and
it's really been picking up though.
Jimmy, I'm forced to tell people this nowadays. The only thing I feel guilty about is that I just don't feel guilty for how sick you guys are. I just think it's so great.
You guys, yeah, it's kind of sad for those, if anyone didn't sign up for the NHB.
That's a sore spot for some people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Endgame is really good, and I've gotten all your products that you guys come out with, but NHB is where it's at. So
I really appreciate you saying that. Well, we're gonna get to look inside another business tonight that's really killing it. But you're also doing very well with affiliate stuff. And one of the things that this event is about is how it's all connected. And by the way, just so you all know, I had no idea Jimmy was going to be on tonight. It's not a plant. There's nothing like that. It's just one of these random occurrences that happens. I wanted to give somebody else props. Maybe if I pull it off the screen, I can figure this out somewhere else. But an NHBer actually just made her first commission, which I was excited about. I'm gonna try to figure out who that was. But your affiliate stuff, you're ranking for some. We won't go into the specifics of the keywords that you're in, but you're really ranking for some mass market keyword stuff. And sometimes you're making like $1,000 a day with your affiliate stuff. It's really incredible. I've seen it.
Oh, yeah, you could get up. I think the highest was like 24 in one day. So it's pretty good.
2,400 in a day? That's awesome.
Yeah, in one day.
That's
been my max. I keep trying to top it, but I never can get past that. So.
Yeah, no, but just for so many people, for most of America, $2,400 in a month. Not just for most. Just statistically, it is more money than the average American makes in a month. So it's certainly something to be proud of. It's Kelly Campbell, by the way. Is Kelly on tonight? Kelly, if you're on tonight, let me know. I want to congratulate you. I'm going to show y'all an earnings report from Kelly really quick. It's so cool. You're talking about NHB, that Facebook group. It's just, you just can't feel down when you're in there. Just take a look here. Here we go. This is Kelly Campbell. Hey guys, I just thought I would share our success with you. Me and my partner are now very excited. We have been paid for our first job $1,000. We've also won a job for $150 a month doing SEO. We have just done some on-page optimization and have already seen rankings improvement in a week. It's for a local motel. We are hoping to sell the new site sell them a new site for $1,000. We only joined NHB a few weeks ago, although we have been working online for a couple of years. This is by far the biggest payday we've had. Thank you so much, Greg Morrison and Mike. And of course, all the NHBers. You're a great source of inspiration. And a lot of people chimed in and cheered her on. So that is just killer. So I want to congratulate you, Jimmy. I want to congratulate Kelly. We'll also be having an earnings report tonight from Martin Lotsberg. He just had a big gold sale. But I want to talk a little bit about how it's all connected. And you hear it from me, but we're going to be talking a lot about how the rest of the internet is connected to Google tonight. How we can really be leveraging Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Twoozer. I don't actually know if there is a Twoozer, but anyways, whatever. Like all those sites, YouTube, Google Plus, all this stuff. Can really use this to amplify our rankings, our results, and get direct traffic. It's real. It's definitely for real. Of course, Google is going to be your center pin, but it's also connected between affiliate marketing and local client consulting. And Jimmy, since you're really in the thick, since you're making a full-time income doing each, like you make plenty way more than most Americans make in a whole year. I mean, shoot, almost every month at this point. I mean, doing each of them. So what would you say about the connectedness? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just generally curious what your thoughts are about the connection between affiliate marketing and local client consulting.
Well, basically, they're the same. I like my affiliate stuff because you could be more aggressive and you could do a lot more experimenting. That's more fun to me, is testing stuff out and see what works. And then, but the client side stuff too, the biggest joy I get from doing client work is just, when you go in and you show them that you got them to #1 for their keyword and they're telling you that their phones are blown off the hook and everything. I mean, that's the greatest joy for me for client work. I mean, the money's good. And I think for a lot of people, doing client work first is definitely a good way to get a good income coming in. And then from there branching out and doing, really digging into the affiliate stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. We actually had Joe Marfolio on.
But it's all connected.
Yeah, we had Joe Marfolio on an event really recently, and Joe, I don't know what his earnings are up to, but he did exactly what you said. He got started, and Joe was already successful with local client consulting even when he joined OMG, because we have a great mix here with OMG and NHB of people who are experienced and people who are brand new. And Joe already, I think he was already at the 6-figure level when he joined us, but he's really picked up steam since then. And Joe wanted to do exactly what you're saying. He wanted to swing over and start getting into affiliate stuff. And he just started kicking butt. Oh, and Abby Hunjo's on. Abby, $18,000 Abby. Yeah. It's great. I love seeing her on here. So that's great, guys. I just want to just put that word out, that because one of the things, once you can do rank a site, do local client consulting and rank a site, you're 80% of the way there to being able to do affiliate stuff, or 90%. I mean, you're so far down the road. So don't ever feel like you're not moving forward by doing local client consulting, or if you're doing affiliate stuff, don't feel like you're not moving forward in your day job killer stuff by doing affiliate stuff, by doing launch jacking and so forth. Whatever you do, whatever money getting method you're following or taking, it's moving you forward in everything. And Jimmy, I mean, do you think that's correct? Because it doesn't really distract you or take you the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. I mean, everything that you do with local client consulting, it all ties into, the more organic stuff. And I think, even if you're starting out and you say, hey, I'll rank you for this keyword in a city, even if the city's small, you can scale that. As you start understanding how, you talked about your feeder sites and things like that that start amplifying traffic and calls going to your own website.
Yeah.
I mean, you can really just, you want to look a keyword up real quick?
Sure.
Type in water damage St. George.
So this is one of your sites?
Well, it's one of my client sites.
Yeah.
So you can see I brought up their Facebook.
Oh, wow.
You look at the Yahoo. They're number 1 in the Yahoo local. You can keep scrolling down.
Oh, wow.
There's number 1 for the
in the local listings.
Local listings. If you keep going down, I got them more spots.
Wow, look at this. Where else do you have them?
Yeah.
Is this your video?
Yeah, it's a video.
That's your video? Dang, man.
And
these guys must freaking love you.
Yeah, they were. These were one of the guys I was telling you. I'm not trying to bash. I can't remember. I think it was Yellow Pages. They were paying $6,000 a month for.
Yeah, and look at Yellow Pages got one rinky-dink listing down here.
And they weren't getting any traffic, no calls, nothing. And they gave me 3 weeks, and I tripled their traffic. And at this point,
so wait, you're number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and then number 7, and then you're number 8. Gosh, dang, man.
There should be another one.
Do you feel guilty that you don't feel guilty?
Well, I kind of got mad. I was competing against somebody else. Kept bringing up YouTube videos into this space, and so I got angry and said, "Fine, I'm just going to go rank all their business listings as well."
That's great.
I just pushed them out.
That's really funny. So, Derek's asking, is this ranking getting them business? Of course it's getting them business.
Yes. They told me last month that 70% of their business is now coming through the internet.
70%? And that's up from 0%, right? Like before they were literally getting nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They would get something every now and then just from the PPC stuff that Yellow Pages was doing. But, this is free now. And
man, this is and one of the things that we say, like OMGers and NHBers are so often not only grateful, but they're just so generous and never more true than now. You coming on this event and just showing off. This is the kind of thing we're going to be talking about tonight. It is all connected. Facebook is connected to Google. Yahoo and Yahoo Local is connected to Google. Google Plus, Twitter. Could I get people to type in? We're getting a bunch of people are typing out. They're excited by this concept here. Could I get a bunch of people? And Carrie, just thank you for sharing, by the way. Could you type? Could each individual here type in? It's all connected, because that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight. I really want you to see this. We wanted to get you a basis when it comes to SEO through Google. We really wanted, as we began OMG a little bit less than a year ago. We really, and NHB, we wanted to give you a basis, we wanted to get your feet on the ground with Google, but from there, now we're really opening it up and letting it burn. We're really getting in and kicking some butt for you here. Fletch says traffic to local site equals money to the local biz. Exactly. That's exactly true. Now, Madeline wants to know if you're managing their pay-per-clicks.
I don't manage the PPC portion is done through their corporate office, so we don't. I've actually I've tried to approach them before, and we have another marketing campaign that we're going to work out, but technically they're only supposed to market in their individual areas. So PPC is handled through corporate. Yeah,
absolutely. And Cass, thank you, Jimmy, and everyone's typing in. It's all connected. Yeah, this is great. I'll type it in too. This is a fantastic, and is everyone excited to find out more tonight about leveraging, because I see stuff like Facebook courses out there and, Twitter and Pinterest courses out there. It's not that those things are unimportant. It's just that they have to be connected for them, for it to really help you. You need to kind of have a focal point to it. And you can really see that Jimmy's doing that here. It's really focused around your Google rankings. Remember, is everybody here aware? Give me the number one if you're aware of that article that I put out, and Jimmy, you saw this, right? It was like not this last Friday, but the Friday before, where Google went down for 5 minutes and global web traffic dropped. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I read that article. I mean, that just tells you right there that the traffic you should be focusing on is Google.
Yeah.
No matter how hard it gets, I mean,
yeah.
you focus with it, because people will drop off and you can come right in and take the business, basically.
Yeah, and for those of you who didn't see the article or who don't remember the actual percentage, I want you to place your best guess. Do you think that it was a 1% drop in global traffic? Because remember, every other website's still out there. ESPN, FoxNews.com, Drudge Report, Yahoo, Bing, Facebook, Twitter, the porn sites, everything else was still up, right? Match.com, everything. Amazon, eBay, all the other sites were up. So even if somebody was at a computer, they go to Google and it doesn't work, you just go to Bing, right? It can't be that big of a difference.
You go to Bing and Google it.
Right. Oh, you're so funny. That's great. So would you guess it was a 1% drop, a 3% drop, or a 7% drop? So type in your window whether you think it was a 1% drop, a 3% drop, or a 7% drop. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to get your guesses in. Okay. A lot of people are saying 7%. Somebody said 10%. No one's going for 1 or 3. Nobody. A lot of people know the answer, so they're just typing it in. Okay, the answer is 40%. It's 40 freaking %. And goodness sakes, and Jimmy, like people, you go to Amazon, you're not shopping, you're buying. You already knew what you wanted when you're going to Amazon. Like you don't really go to Amazon to browse. I mean, you might, but the mass amount of people that are going there with their minds made up. You go to Google when you're shopping. Your roof is leaking. You have water damage, right? You want to buy a holiday gift for your sweetheart, whatever. Like that, that's when you take to Google. So that 40%, it's not just 40% of the traffic. It's like 80 or 90% of the up for grabs money. Now, that said, does this mean we should be ignoring Yahoo or Facebook? Absolutely not. That's exactly what Jimmy is showing here, front and center, is that we absolutely don't want to ignore these portals, and you can get significant traffic from them. Okay, there is still lots and lots of traffic out there. It's not going to be quite as targeted and focused and powerful, but it's still up for grabs. And in fact, NHB Steve Clayton is going to be on in a little while. You're going to want to stay for this whole event. This thing is going to be a barn burner. Because he's going to come on and he's going to show off a site. It does have search rankings, but it's actually getting most of its traffic from these other meta sources. It's a $500,000 site. So we're really going to show you the potential of taking advantage of these other portals, because there's a lot of power in them. And something else I want you to realize is you are in exactly the right place at exactly the right time with OMG and NHB. And give me the number one if you realize that. Like if you just feel like, yes, I am in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. This is exactly where I should be. Yeah, this is great. This is great. I love this. That's awesome. That's awesome. Abby, can I bring you on? Let me know if I can bring you on. Poor Abby. I'm always, you could absolutely say no. You said Dawn. What does that mean, Abby? Don't have a microphone? No. Yeah, I bet you did it on purpose. Oh, you're on the road. Okay. No worries. That's wonderful, Abby. I really appreciate it. Okay, great. So we just got a wonderful reaction from that. And yeah, like again, it is all happening. I just wanted to check for something else that I thought might be out there somewhere. I just got to look through the question box here for a second. So listen, Greg Morrison is going to be on in a short period of time. And he will be dropping bombs because that's what Greg does. So that's going to be really, really cool. I think he's going to be on at around half past, so in about 8 to 10 minutes. And let me just look for Martin and see if Martin is already on. No, he's not on yet. So I think Martin will be on at about 45 after, and I think that's also roundabouts when we're going to have be joined by Steve. And I think Steve is trying to track down another one of his partners to come on this event as well. I hope he'll be able to make it. But just in case he can't, we'll leave that in the dark. Now, Now, Jimmy, when you personally find yourself using Facebook and Yahoo like you're doing here and stuff like that, are you generally just firing like NHB style links to these sites? Is that pretty much what you're doing, or is there anything else on the page that you're doing that's particularly nifty and smart?
Yeah, so basically, if you wanted to analyze what I did,
sure.
You see this. So their money site is the A there.
Yeah,
right
see. Here.
And so that would be more like your money site. All these other things, they're citations, but they have a lot more domain authority. So,
right.
Do you have anything that shows domain authority on your computer, Mike?
I don't. Do you? Do you want me to give you the screen?
Sure. Yeah, I guess I could show some people some things.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've been wanting y'all.
Crash, but
yeah. Well, Greg's been wanting everybody to meet you, anyways. So I'm gonna make you an organizer, Jimmy, and that'll be cool too, because then you can see everyone's thank yous and so forth. And Martin's on now too. That's awesome. Awesome. So we'll talk to Martin in just a second. Okay. So Jimmy, are you ready for me to pass you the screen, or do you need?
No, I'm good.
Do y'all want to hear this from Jimmy, or is that a little bit boring for you? Not fun. Give me the number one if you really want to hear from Jimmy, and give me number two if you'd rather we just kind of ignore him and ignore like all the great ideas that he has. And yeah, nobody wants it. No. Okay. All right. Sorry, Jimmy. Forget about it. No, just joking. Everyone said one. There was. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make Jimmy the presenter, and what Jimmy's going to do is go inside. And again, like this is really one of the wonders. I've said it before. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. OMG and HB. It's a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence, and you can really see the advantage that we have. Because you're not just playing with power with all of Greg's and my sites that you get to look through and get to look over our shoulders, but so many of our clients and our friends here just really open up their hearts and open up their minds and share with us, and essentially open up their wallets and just pull money out of it and hand it to us. So all right, so what are we looking at here, Jimmy?
Okay, so this is kind of the difference between when you can use like Magic Submitter or whatever link building tool you like to use, versus like your private network and some of the higher power
overdrive links
more conservative So let me see. This is probably a poor example, but we'll show you. So this is their. Can you see this up here?
I can. Yeah, DA100. Yep. DA100.
Yeah, so this is the primary, and this kind of fits well into the silo stuff that they were going.
Oh, dang! Wasn't that silo stuff sick?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I want to show everybody that site we were working on during that event just hit page one. That Nashville SEO, yeah, it did. Oh,
that's awesome,
dude! That is a money site. I'm gonna make a killing with that site. Let me just tell you, that's another thing I don't feel guilty about. Anyways, go ahead.
So knowing whether or not, domain authority is based off of the links that go to all the pages on your site and a couple of other factors, but mainly you can manipulate your domain authority by pointing links to many pages on your site versus one specific one.
Right.
So domain authority is very hard to manipulate, whereas page authority is not. If you fire a couple of powerful links, your page authority would go up super easy, but domain authority is harder. But the other thing is too, if you're looking at like a 60 domain authority and above, you can fire off your magic and really not worry too much about
Yeah, this is one of the reasons. This is a great.
And it'll rank.
Yeah, guys, this is a killer distinction you're getting. Y'all know how we can just use the worst, lowest links. I mean, you just use SENuke on YouTube videos and it just doesn't matter. It's because of domain authority. Like YouTube itself has such domain authority that it doesn't matter at all. Give me the number one if that makes sense. If you're seeing the distinction between domain authority and page authority. It looks like a lot of people. Yeah. And is this an aha moment? Like, give me the number. Like, please tell Jimmy thank you if he just made being on this event altogether worth it for you just with that one distinction. Because if you didn't know it, I would think that it would be an absolute game changer for a lot of people here. Sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, and this one, again, 42, I got kind of lucky with this one ranking easier. But so now apply this to the way you do a Squidoo lens. Look at your domain authority when you create a Squidoo page. You know, look at your domain authority when you're doing YouTube. That's 100. Facebook, 100. These ones are a lot higher. You can abuse them. But the best part about it is all that link juice, whether no-follow or not, is going to benefit the rankings of your money site. So you're kind of relying on that to kind of pull your money site, you know, from wherever it is.
Right.
If you can kind of compare it that way.
Right. So, so you're pushing through, like, you know what it's kind of like. It's kind of funny, but it's like money laundering. Like with your links, because your links are kind of like, if you're sending like SE nuke links that are pretty spammy and pretty low quality or whatever, and then you're like washing them through Yahoo, and then you get all the benefit of the links as if they were good links. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Does everyone understand that? How we're kind of like, you know, by using this distinction, you can kind of link launder. This is like link laundering. So give me the number one if that makes sense. If not, I totally want to know, because I really want you to get this. This is killer stuff. Okay, Kath didn't get it. Albert didn't get it. Jared didn't get it. Dennis. Okay, a lot of people did get it. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, of course, everyone understands that some links are just going to be perceived as higher quality. Like if wallstreetjournal.com links to your gold site and says this is a great gold site, then Google, of course, is going to look at that and be like, this is an awesome link. Okay, this is high quality, no questions asked. This is great stuff. Whereas there's software out there that's just going to be kind of sending like relatively lame links, you know, just from whatever. I mean, there's like old stuff like profile links and blog commenting that's just not that great, right? It's not like, obviously not the same thing as the New York Times linking to your site. So, sorry, the Wall Street Journal linking to your gold site. So the thing is, you're carrying a certain amount of risk if you're firing like an SE nuke link blast to just directly to your money site. But if you're firing it to Facebook, to YouTube, to Yahoo, these sites that have this domain authority 100, then the link juice will still pass over, but the risk does not. Okay? The risk does not pass. So what's happening is, and that's the idea with money laundering. The idea with money laundering is like somebody will get, I mean, I've never done it, but you know, you just watch a movie or whatever. Somebody gets money illicitly through, you know, whatever, racketeering or whatever crime, drugs, whatever. And what they do is they find some way to get that money back in their pocket, but through some sort of legitimate channel. Like I'm reading a book right now, it's Elvis Cole book, and there's a woman there, and she works at a bank, and what she does is the mafia gives her like large sums of cash, and she makes wire transfers into other accounts, and basically they walk with that money, and it's laundered, it's washed clean. So that's basically, I mean, unfortunately, I just have kind of a bad understanding of money laundering, but I understand the idea of it. And so what we're doing here is we're gaining the benefit of all this great social stuff. Facebook, Yahoo, you can do this with Google+, Squidoo, like Jimmy was saying, and we're going to use these kind of murkier tools and really getting the full value out of them. So we're getting all the bang for the buck. So now, if you said number one, or if you said number two before, when I asked you if you got it, give me a number one if you get it now. And if you didn't, I'll circle back around and try to explain this a different way. I think I got everybody this time. Looks like everybody gets it. I was going to say, this ties in exactly with Greg's new Penguin 2.0 strategy. Yeah.
If you think about that first inner ring that is social,
yeah,
look at all the domain authority on each of those domains. There are 100 on every single one.
Exactly, yeah. And for those of you that really enjoyed the event with, boy, I got to tell you, we have got an insane event coming for you with Russell Wright. Everyone loved that event with Russell and Sue. Yeah, Fordstein saying they're buffers, but they're more than buffers, Fordstein. That's the part of this. Again, like a little subtext of this event is like, you know, I feel guilty that I don't feel guilty, because this is so powerful. Like you're not. It's not just cleaning the links. you're also gaining. It's actually accelerating the links. It's like going from bad money to super good money, right? It's like if you did. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, look at this. Look at my page authority. That's going. Oh, it doesn't have it on this one. Oh, maybe it'll update. Hold on a second. Oh, they took it away. Well, on some of these, you can get. I've been able to get some of these up as high as like a PR7.
Oh my gosh! So you're basically turning that site into what amounts to a PR7 link.
Yeah, because
Sick.
That's the thing. Like, you apply those links, that link juice. Okay, so why would you have a private blog network? It's the PageRank, right?
Right, exactly.
Even though Google says, oh, there's nothing that has to do with PageRank. So you're going out and buying those. Well,
right.
Besides just going out and buying them, that's the point of doing 2.0s. Look at Greg's 2.0 list. It's huge domain authority on that. Look at some of the other things. Like with social, you're building a social account with.
And also, some people just trust Yahoo more. Some people trust Facebook more. So, I mean, people just have their druthers. They have things that they prefer. Some people would rather come through YouTube, and they just feel like that's more legitimate. And so, like, the natural traffic that you're getting through those channels, again, everything is getting washed. Like the links are getting washed, and they're getting or like a makeover. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it's super crazy how strong. Like if you look at this one, it's a page authority 47. So
give me a break.
I would say that's a solid PR3.
Yeah.
If you looked it up on another tool.
That's ridiculous.
At very worst.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's an easy way to manipulate links. They're safe. I mean, because most of the citations, most of the social, it's all URL linkers back to your money site. So. You don't have to worry much about, over-optimization penalty.
Yeah, yeah. Brad's saying, so I'm gathering, Jimmy, that you're firing tons of different types of links to your social/citation sites, which all link to the money site. Exactly, Brad. Like he's basically, and this is what Greg's been teaching us, but this gives you such a great example. And just so you know, Jimmy also knows stuff that like we're learning from him. Jimmy's a really smart guy. This is one of the great things that we've built with OMG and NHB is that we get to mastermind with guys that are really innovative, guys like Jimmy, guys like Russell Wright and Sue. They're just tons of them. Todd is brilliant. Just tons and tons of brilliant guys, both on the SEO side and brilliant conversion guys. I mean, I've learned tons from Fletch. I've learned tons from Joe Marfolio. Mark Ling, give me a break. I mean, that guy. So smart. So we just have this wonderful City on the Hill community. Now, what is the plugin for domain authority? You're using Moz for that, is that right?
Yeah, it's just a free plugin. I have this on Firefox, but I think they have a Google Chrome version, and it's free. It'll just pull up whenever you go to the website. But I mean, there's different equivalents. I mean, you can look at Majestic. Just kind of compare your domain authority against your other tools if you're using something else. Yeah. Kind of see what the same measurement is.
Okay, great. All right, I asked early in the event, like if you really get that it's all connected. I want to ask you again in the audience, do you really get now to a whole different level that it's all connected? Give me the number one. If now in the last 35 minutes, it's like a revolution for you and you see in a much different way. And you're going to keep getting this with OMG. I mean, we should get started, guys. I just want you to know. Just a little Capital One. Bill says that's great. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Greg says one, and I've only been on for 15 minutes. That's awesome. Yeah, this is great. This is really wonderful. Jimmy, did you have any other evil to spread or?
No, I'm ready to hear what you guys have up. I've wasted enough time.
Hey man, no, you didn't waste anything. Can I get thank yous for Jimmy from the audience? Obviously, it's really, really wonderful what he's just shown us, and it's really, really.
Hello, everyone. We're going to be getting into some GSA training here to help some of you guys out that attended the live event out in Nashville, and also just to help out you Project X members. Mike asked me to put this together for you about some of the settings I use and to try and give you an overview of basically how to be successful with using GSA. there's some things you should know about being successful with GSA, and really what it comes down to is it's all about LPM, which is your links per minute. You want to try and have as high a success rate and be able to post as many as you can. That's going to help you increase your overall diversity and save you time on having to go back through and rescrape for URLs and having to redo everything again. So with that being said, there's a few things you need to use. Okay, you need a fast CAPTCHA service. Really, the only CAPTCHA service I use will be a CAPTCHA Breaker, which is a program. It's a program that you can use to basically help. It's just the same as DCAPTCHA or some of the other standard things that come with it, but CAPTCHA Breaker is really the only one I use, and we'll go over how to set that up. You want to try to avoid sites that use reCAPTCHA. With reCAPTCHA, I've noticed it takes a few seconds actually to post as a fraction of a second that you're using with CAPTCHA Breaker. There's also a CAPTCHA Sniper. To me, CAPTCHA Breaker and CAPTCHA Sniper are basically the same as far as speed-wise goes. And they do the same function, so you don't really need to stack CAPTCHA Breaker with CAPTCHA Sniper. So I usually just stick with CAPTCHA Breaker, and we'll go in how to configure that. The other thing you want to do is, typically you just want to harvest links that are from all the best search engines. I just use, all the defaults. You could use Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Most of the others I just try to avoid. You're welcome to go out and scrape those, but I just found for myself the best successes come from the primary search engines. Another key ingredient to be able to increase your LPM is to have private proxies. Oops. Come down here. Private proxies, I usually go with byproxies.org, and depending on how many you're running, you really would be fine with, I think they have different packages that are like the 25 to 30 range. Take you to that site real quick. So here we are. I took you guys over to byproxies.org. This is where I typically get most of my proxies, and usually the only ones I get are the semi-dedicated. You're welcome to get the dedicated ones. I'm not sure it makes too much of a difference. But I usually stick with semi-dedicated proxies. And for most of you, you guys would probably be fine using the 30 to 50 range. And so that would be at $25 to $40 per month to get yourself a group of proxies that you can use. And I should add that for GSA, I typically only use private proxies for GSA SER, so only the link building portion. I don't use dedicated proxies for the scraper. I only get these to post the links, just so you guys are aware. Now, the other things you guys should be aware of, you're going to have a fast CPU. And you need lots of RAM, or at least sufficient RAM to do what you need to do. And really with RAM, I'm really looking for, you want at least 4 gig really to be successful, but I would still say if you're going to use your VPS for posting and scraping, you're going to want to actually go in and probably at least get 8 gig of RAM. And that should help you balance pretty good between your scraper and your poster. But those are really 2 key ingredients that you need. Take you over to a couple of the VPS services that I use real quick. Pause this video and be right back. Okay, so we're back now. After a brief pause, I just want to get these URLs up so we can flip through them quickly. So here I use Hostess a lot for some of my servers that I use. You just come in here to hosting plans, click on VPS hosting, and some of them, he comes in and out with some that are available. This really, for most of you, would be all that you would need. And they tell you the i3 core here, and you have at least 8 gigabit of RAM. The other thing you need to be aware of is the amount of megabytes that are getting sent out on the speed of your connection, basically. So, and I like this because they unmeter you, so it really lets GSA just kind of do its thing and go out. This one I've been favoring more for some of my bigger campaigns. This is obviously more than what most of you would need, but the option's there. And he usually doesn't run out of this second one. You can usually pick those up pretty easily. Another type of VPS you could use is Liquid Web. You can go to your VPS. We'll go compare the plans here, and it pulls this up. Now what's kind of cool about this is you can scale up over time if you need. So with a 4 gigabit machine, you got your 2 CPUs. You're going to be easily at $140 a month. So for a good VPS, I mean, there's lots of other deals out there, and I'm sure you guys can ask around with, some of the other VPSs that people are using out there. I'm just showing you 2 of the ones that are some of my favorites. So, but if I was going with it, I would put this up to at least 8 gig, and you're going to be sitting around $220 a month. This one, if you're going with this, it's about $150 monthly, or for the overkill version, I usually go with the $250 monthly. So these are some of the examples of VPSs that I use, and they've worked really well for me. Now the other 2 things that are basically settings that you do in GSA are going to be for how many threads you're running, and you really got to kind of gauge that based off of your VPS. I'll show you the settings that I use, but it's really going to be dependent on what VPS you get and its capabilities to see how many you can max out. The other thing is, the timeout on that as well, but those are also settings in GSA. But basically, when it comes down to it, your LPN is really the most essential, and you need to be going out and buying the hardware that you need to be able to have a high success rate when you're posting your links. And we'll be getting into the settings next, so stay tuned for next video. Alright, welcome to our second video series in this GSA craziness that we're going over. Anyways, so I'm going to take an approach that I know some of you are more advanced than others, but I'm going to take this approach for beginners. So first things first, we need to go purchase the software that we need. You can just go to this URL here, pull this up on the screen real quick. Got this up on the screen. What you're looking for is this. Just hit buy now. You're looking for the 2 programs that you're going to be buying. You're going to want to pick up GSA Search Engine Ranker and GSA Capture Breaker. Apologize for that. Indexer I usually do not use. I mean, you're welcome to use it. It certainly doesn't hurt. I usually don't use the indexer because when you start getting verified links, and Google will eventually crawl those, and so I just feel it's more of a natural type process, and it's usually just kept me out of hot water over time instead of trying to force the indexing of links that could be a little unnatural in Google's eyes. If you want to pick up the index, you're welcome to, but for this, I only pick up GSA and Capture Breaker. So we're going to purchase those, and then we're going to go over and put them up onto the server. Just a word of caution real quick, just purchase those new licenses for this new server that I just got. But in the email process, it made a little confusing with Vangate. They'll send you 2 separate emails. One of them is verifying your payment, and the other one is verifying the email that's associated with PayPal if you use that. Make sure that you click on the link that they send you for verifying the email of your PayPal. Otherwise, it can really slow up the time it takes for you to go in and download those programs off your computer. So just a word of caution. So we're going to go into actually logging into the server next. Okay, once you pick out your VPS, you're going to need to connect to it with your remote desktop connection. That can be found when you click on Start and then go into your accessories, and you will find your remote desktop connection. And there you're just going to open that up, and that's going to display what you're seeing here. Okay, with this, you're going to put in the IP that was provided to you from your VPS, your username, and then whatever your password is. I'm obviously not going to display all of that here on this video. Piece of advice: if you're logging in using Windows 7 or higher, you're not going to be able to just copy and paste that in from the email that you get. You're going to actually have to type in the username and password. So it's going to just know that's been a problem for some people, and I've even run into that problem. I didn't know you couldn't just copy paste. So just be aware of that when you're first logging in. That might save you a little bit of headache if you're starting out with this kind of stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to log in. Okay, we're now logged into the server that I purchased from Hostiness. Needed to upgrade anyway to get another machine going. There's usually there's 4 pieces of software that I usually get, but to start out an order, you can do one of 2 things. You can use like a Dropbox or some other type of cloud server to get these programs downloaded to your VPS and then install them. They might ask you for a few .NET, a few additional software stuff that you might need to have the program running on your server. So just follow the prompts, upload it, get it going. I've obviously already done that, but or you can just log in your email from here, download it, copy it straight from the web, whatever you feel comfortable doing. It's just a matter of installing it. So 2 things you got. You have your GSA capture breaker, and you got your GSA search engine ranker. So let's go into how we're going to do the settings for GSA capture breaker. Okay, so the settings on your GSA capture breaker, I mean, really you can pick and choose basically what you want to let your, when it's going out and verifying the emails, it's going to be filling out the captchas for you, so it's basically automating the process of you verifying your emails. So basically you don't want to really, I don't ever change anything of disabling any of this. You might find some platforms you're just not having success with, and so you might want to go in there and edit these out over time. Say you're having problems with forum captchas or something, whatever it is. You might want to just go through and click the ones off that aren't working for you. So there's not really any need in undoing any of this until you start having success or lack of success with your captchas. That can help you save over time. Other than that, I always, in the options, the other one I do, you just leave all this the same. I'll just check this. And my favorite one that I like to use is Spamvilla reCAPTCHA. And this one is really the best secondary that I've found when I'm trying to break captchas. Just going to take you over that screen real quick so you can see where you can go to pick those up. This is Spamvilla, and this is what I typically use for my secondary on captcha breaker. So basically, what you're doing is if it fails in captcha breaker, it's going to look for a secondary service to try and solve that captcha for you. The best combination I found is coupling it with the Spamvilla. And so you'd come over here, you can see that we're on that site. You're just going to come down here, reCAPTCHA, OCR, and this is basically where you're going to go to pick up some extra reCAPTCHA service. But anyways, it's good as a secondary one. You're welcome to use whatever package you want. It's going to kind of depend on how your server's running and your settings. But overall, I mean, I usually just stick with a blaster package. If I'm doing really big campaigns, I will pick up one or two of these, depending on how well it's working. But overall, I found that Capture Breaker will basically do the job. So you're just looking for something to pick up the slack from what's lacking on there. So blaster package is typically what I stick with. It is $100 a month. But you're welcome just to, if you're running smaller campaigns, you're welcome to start, just try the starter package and add that in. It's going to give you some good reliability on getting your captcha solved. So overall, that's basically the settings that I do for Capture Breaker. Once you get your Spamvilla account, you just go in here, do your login, password, IP port they provide for you, and you can test them, make sure it's all working. But basically, once that's set up, you're good to go for running your Capture Breaker. Next video, we're going to start going into GSA. Hello everyone, and welcome to video 3. We're going to be going over GSA for this video. This is your actual part of the tool that actually builds the links for you. So in this, you can see over here to the left, I've thrown up a couple of example projects just so we can walk you guys through this. You got your other areas up here. This is new, to create a new project that will end up over here once you name it. You can also edit existing ones. You could delete them. Options is where we'll go in a minute and show you how to configure your threads and your timeouts and everything. But those projects that you create will end up over here. The next part, as you're posting links, those URLs that start getting posted are going to start showing up over here on this right side. We haven't started anything yet, so of course you're not going to see anything here. Down here, this is going to give you your log area, where if you get errors or whatever, you can keep track of that down here in this green area. Down here at the bottom, this is your LPM. This is what we were talking about earlier, where we want to really maximize this out. But go over, you can just hover over these to see what they are. But basically, you have your amount of threads going right here. You have the amount of links that were submitted. You have how many were verified for the day. And you got your active proxies that are going for all the projects that are working in GSA at the moment. It's your links per minute. It'll say how many are being built. You got your captchas, how many you have, how many you have left. Your memory usage. This is how much memory GSA is actually using to build the links. And then you got your CPU. CPU will just basically display, the system limits. And basically, you want to try and get this up to 99% as much as you can. If you're going anything less, then you might need to downgrade to a lower server if you're not going to add anything to it later on. Really, if you're going to be paying, 150 plus a month for a VPS, then get your money's worth. If you find over time that's not getting maxed out, then you just need to change that up. Maybe go with a lower server setting, because it depends really on how many campaigns you could be running at once. And I can't tell you how many that's could be. You have to make that choice. So it's just good to just kind of keep that in the back of your head. Next portion we're going to go into, options. We're just going to walk you through this and basically how I set things up. When you first come in here, I'll just turn these back on real quick. This is basically the defaults, with the exception of up here you have how many threads you're going to be using. This really depends on the amount of RAM that you have. This could be how many connections are going simultaneously, and if you don't have a lot of RAM, that can be eating up what you have for resources on your hardware-wise, what you can post to. So if you have a lower, obviously on this VPS I had gotten the 32 gig, so it's could be good for quite a few projects to go before I have to upgrade to another server or purchase another one. But I usually set this to 250. That's the number I like to keep it at. This is on Hostimiss, so if you're going to use Hostimiss, these are the settings I use. My HTML timeout, I usually keep that at 60 seconds. I've just found that this is a good magic number for what I'm using. You can, of course, increase this to go higher. I know a lot of people have success when they increase this a little higher. You're welcome to do that, but you're going to have to kind of play with your settings as you work with your VPS to see what it can really handle. But again, if you're using Hostess, these are my settings I typically use. We're going to come down here, and you definitely want to use proxies. Now, there's two different kinds of proxies. You're going to have one that are private that you're paying for, and then others that are public, where anybody and their uncle can go out and get the public ones. They're not really worthwhile. They get burned up a lot, and they can really interfere with how well GSA is going to perform as a whole. And I strictly use this only for posting, so I want to make sure that the IP is not going to get burned out. I'm not going to have to constantly go out and get new public proxies, so just for me time-wise, I don't throw public in there. I only use private. I just found a lot higher success rate when you're posting links, and so it's really not necessary to do that. So you just want to click the public off submission. Go click that off. This one right here is usually also used if you're going to start mixing proxies, and that's really up to you if you want to do that. But again, I don't see high success when you're mixing public with private. So that's another setting I turn off, because all I want is it to pull from my private proxies. PR checking, just uncheck that. It's not necessary. Verification, uncheck it, not necessary. And I think this is usually set to 5 seconds. I usually just bump this up just a little bit. You could probably even get away with just 10. It's good. 10 to 15 is usually where I keep it at. So that's basically the settings on this page that you're going to look at. Again, if you're having trouble, you want to take a look at your HTML timeout and your threads to use. That can definitely help you as you're moving along. Okay, so next thing I want to do is click in here and go to configure. This is where we're going to go in and we're going to import our proxies. Let me go over, hopefully you guys went over from the first video and picked up some proxies from buyproxies.org or any other service that you like to use, and we're just going to go get those and we're going to put those in. Just want to jump over real quick before I forget. If you're using buyproxies.org, you're going to want to go in here and make sure you set your IP to match up. You click in once you log in, you're going to click on IP authentication up here, and you want to make sure that you assign the IP that matches up with the VPS or whatever machine you're going to be using your private proxies for. You could also use this on your home machine or another VPS if you happen to pick it up. I personally like to use IPs for GSA is going to be doing the posting, and I use different programs for scraping, but for simplicity purposes we're just going to go and you want to make sure that you get that IP in there. We're going to bounce back over to our VPS real quick. Okay, we're back here on the VPS again, back to this screen that we had. So we need to add in our proxies that we purchased from buyproxies.org. So you want to come over here, and you can either copy or paste, or you can, if you want to import from clipboard. If you copy it directly from buyproxies.org, you can just paste it right in here, or you can just import it from a file. Just so I don't show too much personal information, I'm just going to import these proxies real quick. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so I went ahead and pasted those proxies in that I got from buyproxies.org. And to do that, you would have hit add proxy, and this is typically the format you'll go if you got buyproxies.org. You'd also, if you want to copy the text file to your server, you could also import it that way as well. Of course, you got to check with your proxies. You might have a different setup like this, but you'll be able to tell when you log in to see what format it's in. So anyways, I added those private proxies up here, and basically just going to do a test. You do this test, you go in and you're just going to come in here and you can test against Google or whatever you want. You just want to make sure that that they're all working. So you just click in, skip uncheck proxies, yes. It's going to run through and make sure that everything's working kosher on your proxies. They should if you're paying for them, so 92 out of 92 seem to be working fine. So that's good. That's all I wanted to do in there. Now the next thing we want to do is go into your options. You're going to come in here, you can click on your options. There's a few things that you can modify in here. So basically, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to put in, you can adjust this number really to increase what you're going to get out of your private proxies. Especially if you go the route of mixing your public with your private, I recommend setting this. And typically the lower you go, the more success rate you're going to have with this. I usually leave this as is for now. I'll keep it at 60 and the timeout at 5. And then of course you can mess with these other settings if you want. So anyways, basically I usually just keep this at 60. The other settings seem to be just fine for me with the way I run GSA. And you know, even though I do things a certain way doesn't mean that you guys can't test and try different things that might work better for you and your methods. So this is just a 2 cents from Jimmy Kelly. Okay, so now that we got our proxies input okay, I'm just going to click back over here to options so you make sure you're not getting lost. The next portion that we're going to go to is CAPTCHA. There's not really anything to do here. We just have the, expand this a little bit. Oops. Expand this just a tad so you can see this is just your GSA CAPTCHA breaker that you purchased when we got it. And it's just straightforward. It's just a program that works with GSA. There's not really anything to configure. The part where we added SpamVilla, that's all set up. So it's going to pull from this, and it's going to do everything it needs to, and even go to SpamVilla from that portion. The next area here you're looking at is indexing. I personally don't use indexing. You guys can get that software if you want. I just feel it's just more natural if you're getting a lot of verified links, and just like Google, Bing, and those find it naturally on its own. There's not really any need to use this. You can if you want, but I don't feel, for me, I don't feel it's the best route, so I would just skip that portion. The next thing we're going to go to is the filter. The filter, there's not really anything that you're going to change on this. Just usually defaults they use on this, so you can basically just skip this tab. I just want you to see it in case, you know, we're just going to walk through the steps. On this one, this is your advanced tab, and this is where you can do a little bit of modifying for what you need. Basically, this is go out and save the links that you're building. So it's always great to come back into this, and you know, you're able to pull the verified links that you used before. So if you find a good grouping of verified links, it's going to get saved to a file, and you know, you can pull that up from following this file path here that you see. But as you get them verified and identified, those are typically the ones that I like to keep. Successful isn't bad. You might have better luck retrying them and stuff to make sure that they're verified down the list. But really all these are good to keep. There's not really anything else that I'll change on here. I usually just keep this as is. It says, you could do another one here that says get PR for verified URLs. Again, I don't use, I just don't waste resources of GSA to go find PR. If you guys know anything about me or have been following me in either the live event or some of the other webinars I've spoken on, I'm big on domain authority, so I really could care less what the PR is for the verified link. It, to me, is just a waste of time. So go to Tools. Tools is a good one to go into next. In your Tools section, you want to okay, sorry. In your keywords, you're going to want to go into here, and you can search online for URLs if you want. it's important to learn this step. I do use a different program called Gscraper to go harvest my URLs that I'm going to post to, but GSA does have this ability to do as well. So from here you can go to add predefined footprints, and you know, it doesn't really matter what you want to do. Say you want to do article. So you want to try and find all the websites out there that are capable of posting an article type link. You just click on add all. If you're using this is a good method to also pull your footprints into Gscraper if you're using that, or some of the other harvesters. And basically this just goes out, and these footprints are going to be looking for websites that match up with this. The other thing you're going to want to do is come into here and you want to add keywords, and you'll go pull in a text file of you know, I usually do main keywords plus any co-occurrence or LSI keywords that might be relevant to what I'm trying to rank on, and that's going to help me build a list basically of potential targets. Potential targets being what this tool is going to post to, so build your links on. And I like to try and just keep all mine separated out, and you want to constantly build this list. It's important to, you know, typically when I'm going to build any kind of mass links, even if they're 2 citations or whatever, I want to do at least 50% keyword relevant and 50% other. So I try to get a good mix in there, but 50% I at least want to be found from these footprints, matching up with the keywords I'm going after for that specific niche. So basically you got their keywords uploaded in there, and now basically if you just hit OK, this will go out and start scraping those target footprints that you're looking for, that you specified up here. And I recommend utilizing a different scraper. I just feel they're more powerful, they're faster. Gscraper does a fantastic job, and I usually will take these footprints and put them into Gscraper. They're already predefined in GSA, so it saves a lot of time, and I just find that it's much more efficient than trying to, especially if you're on a server that can't handle too many threads. It's just easier to do it using the Gscraper or Scrapebox. It's much more efficient at scraping. But just to show you that you can do that, you just click down here and hit OK. It would run through and start collecting those footprints that you specified with the keywords. I'm going to stop this video and go to the next one. We're getting pretty long here. Okay, welcome back. This is video 4. We're going to go into configuring your projects and going over that. I'm going to just click in here to one of our example projects. There's nothing too special about anything in here. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But a few things to note. As you start getting better with you know, as you run more campaigns and stuff, you're going to start seeing that some of these are going to start performing better than normal. So it's important to keep track of that, for the main reason that you don't really want GSA wasting its resources or time trying to post links that aren't successful or are very few verified links. You want it basically posting to these footprints that are going to produce results. So I guess I didn't go over this in the other video. If you click back and go back over real quick, come into Tools, and you can come down here to Show Stats. And this is good to check. I usually check it at the end of every month just to see how things are moving along. But when you click into Verified, it's going to display. It's going to display a number. You're seeing up here where it says total. Under here will be a list of the different platforms, and then the number next to it is going to be how many verified links that platform was successful with. So, to give you an example, let's just open up this test project. We haven't ran anything, so I can't show you the numbers on that. But when you're comparing your numbers, say you're looking at the articles. It'll go through and it'll say it's Article Beach. It would have the amount of verified links that you've built for Article Beach. Now, you'll find that as you build links over time, some of these are just not even going to perform for you. Others do a great job. So, as you start running through, you want to check your verified links, and then you probably want to start unchecking some of these as you go along. Say Article Beach only posted one verified link over the course of the month. It might not be something I'm going to pursue in the future, but then you'll find that maybe BuddyPress, for instance, you got thousands of links going for it. So you just want to keep track of that and just check it over time. Usually once a month is all I spend doing that. And you know, GSA also updates, so you want to make sure every time you get an update from GSA, just go run through and just do a full project to just some random source that you don't really care about. Maybe you can see what's getting, if any of the platforms have either improved, or if you have any new ones that you can make sure that are getting saved into your settings. The other place you can go is in Tools. You'd be able to go in there and export your options. And then later when you create a new project, you can go into import options. So there's basically a good benefit of doing that, so you're not going to have to go through and reset this every time. It's just a way to kind of automate that as you figure out as you go along which one of these are working best. I'm obviously not going to go into that. I mean, you guys will be able to go through and determine those for yourself. So there's just a few things that we can go over here. You look at your data. This is basically where you're going to fill out like most of the platforms and general settings that you're going to use. So for instance, you can look at some of these. You got guest book. This is in German. Obviously you wouldn't do that. You'd set it to English, but basically going to come in here and get you try to write a pretty well spun sentence or article that goes with either doing a blog comment or you know, whatever platform you might be writing from. Here's a guest book one. You can see it's just really spun. Spinning's important just to be able to get as much uniqueness out of it as you can. I've found that when you're posting links, uniqueness is the primary factor in having successful verified links that stick around. So you want to take your time and go into each of these and basically fill them out for the different platforms that you're going to be posting on. And we don't need to do that. I mean, you can basically figure out how to do spinning. I know Mike has done that in a few other lessons. But you're going to take your time and you're going to go through and fill out all these. And these are basically all the general things. They're not going to be anything really related to your keywords and things of that nature. But just your overall basic setup. So let's come back up here. So up here you have your URL. These are where the links that you're going to use. These are the targets you're going to send links to. So I put google.com in here as an example. But you can always add in, you know, plenty others. You know, I usually stick to about, you know, when I try blanketing, I usually just try to stick to about 5 to 10 URLs and just let it run full on for that. Again, you don't want to be using GSA to any of your money sites. I never send this to a money site, especially after Penguin 2.1. It's just very dangerous, and you can get yourself penalized very quickly. So typically you want to be using these to send to your Tier 1 properties or T2 properties, so just using this to pump more link juice up through the cleaner sites that are linking to your money site. So as you come through here, the keywords you put in will basically be here. You know, if you want to do like Nashville SEO services in Nashville, you know, put as many keywords in there as you want. LSI goes good in there too. It's not really anything you have to worry about. So I'll usually do that. If you know the predefined keywords you're going to use, you make sure this is checked. Let's say use keywords as anchor text, so it's going to go through, and for the platforms you select, it's going to slip this keyword into different content areas for your link. And when you're dealing with tier 2 and 3, you really don't need to worry about, over anchorage. The other thing you want to do, I always usually do generic and anchor text variations. It's always good. So it might be different capitalizations or lowercase versions of your keywords, and so it's great. It helps give a little bit of variety to everything. And I'm not really going to go into the exact percentages of this. If you were lucky enough to attend the live event, I went into exactly how to set this up percentage-wise for you to have success. But to keep things fair for the people that did attend live, we're not going to go into specifics of what percentages you need to use. But those are basically the main settings that you need to be doing when you're targeting a tier 2 or tier 3 link. Next thing is article manager. So basically, you can put any kind of super spun article directly into this. So, if you went to add, usually would just go out and, if you're using a content service or something, you can use that. But, I typically will just go out and build highly spun articles for what I want to use. So let me pause this and show you an example real quick. Okay, so I just pulled up basically showing you an example of one of the articles I use. And typically if you're just importing for one campaign, I usually do about 5 articles for a campaign. And you basically want to try to make sure they're about 300% unique if you're looking for quality. Again, uniqueness is really the key with having success with your link builders. It just fits in well with Panda, but it's basically just an example that you can use for one of the files that I would put in. Again, I know Greg has gone in and taught how to do this in the Project X course. And I think he's even provided some outsourcers that do a good job of spinning. So you can either do this yourself or you can outsource it. Don't take a lot of time. The key is uniqueness. So you would just go out there, and that file I just showed you, you can just go out there and hit add and import from folder. You can go find that file from wherever you saved that article and just plop it right in. You do that for all 5 of them. So anyways, it's kind of a way to import your articles. There's not really anything else that you need to worry about. These are the settings I typically use when I'm setting up. I know this is a little bit different than your default settings. It's just a way to kind of keep your links in check. And I like to put zeros in there because it's just a good way to kind of randomize. That way not every single, say it's an article site, you want every single article you're posting to get a link. I like to kind of mix it up. So it's just a good way to do that. Come over here to options.
Another specific country.
A few things to go over here with your options tab. This is basically where you can kind of modify the project on an individual basis. So basically what you're looking for is you have some settings in here that you could play with. If you're one of those kinds of people that likes to play it safe and not really blast it all at once, you can play with the pause up here after all projects, and you can really specify out how many links it's going to build per day, and after how many minutes and per URL. So it really kind of lets you kind of control how many links are being built to each target on some kind of basis. I usually just keep this unchecked. It's not really necessary. As long as you're not building it to a money site or anything like that, which you shouldn't be. I don't recommend it. I take no responsibility if you burn your site using this method. You can just leave that unchecked. Ask to fill all services to fill CAPTCHAs. Just leave this checked. It actually sends it out over to your CAPTCHA breaker when that's running, and we'd already set up the CAPTCHA breaker to send it to the secondary spam bill if we needed to. So, you know, if CAPTCHA breaker can't do it, spam bill will try it. But one thing people should be aware of is GSA can be very expensive CAPTCHA-wise, and so one of the things you want to make sure you check is make sure you're skipping the hard-to-solve verified links. This is the other setting I would take off. You want to take off the send verified link to indexer services. I mean, who cares about that? You know, don't waste resources. Go through some of these other ones. Search engines to use. You can play with some of these. Again, I do some other methods, but for starting out, it's kind of up to you what you want to pick and choose. Sometimes when you're starting out, if you don't have a new list, you probably want to check this and make sure that you have identified and verified going, and that'll help you start building more accurate lists. For my purposes, I don't really worry about, but if you're just starting out, that might be a good one. Use URLs linking on the same verified URL. I usually do this. It's just my personal preference. You know, we just go through these settings on each one. It doesn't really matter. Scheduled posting. I do like to allow posting on the same site again in some circumstances. Again, we'd set the settings up in the data section, if you remember, to actually kind of randomize. You know, sometimes it'll put links, sometimes it won't, sometimes it puts an image, sometimes it puts whatever. So I actually do use this setting. For instance, say you were posting on a particle site or a 2.0 site. I don't necessarily want links going from every single portion of that 2.0 site that we built. You know, I'd want it kind of randomized. And so, you know, I'd come in here, give it some specifications, make it wait, you know, some time before it posts again, but just want to make sure that it doesn't post more than once, or I mean, post more than maybe 5 per account. And that's typically the settings I keep it at. You're welcome to just leave this off. It's just kind of personal preference, whatever you want to do. So you have to decide what's best for you as you use this. And maybe some of you just want to do one, so you could just unselect this if you want. Just going through some of the settings that I have. Type of backlinks you create. You'll notice on your data section, if you uncheck some of these, the amount of your general areas will lessen as you get into it. So for instance, scroll down here, say I unchecked forum comments, you wouldn't see, or let's just say guestbook, you wouldn't see this section in here at all. It would just be, it would just skip over it. So you can go into here and check those off as much as you want. I don't really mess around with these settings. You know, try to skip creating no-fault links. If you're using the method of trying to go out and scrape for relevant sites, no-fault links count. You'll get credit for those. That's kind of based off of, you know, if you understand like the meta refresh code and things like that. Google basically has the option to pass the juice. You'll see the increase in the rankings, but you might not see the benefit of the page rank. Again, told you why I don't really care about page rank, but these settings are in here if you want to mess with them. Here you can either click this or not. Depends on how much you care about the site. I mean, something with Penguin Filter is you can actually end up getting in hot water with a Penguin penalty if you're posting to sites that are in bad neighborhoods. So until you get good with this and experience, I would just keep this checked, unless maybe your niche is in this area. I just keep those checked. And this last section here is about countries. If you go through and you find that certain countries aren't really great for posting or turn out to be really bad spam or whatever it is, you can go in there and say skip site or skip sites from following countries. You go in there and specify which ones you don't like or you don't want GSA to post to. So just a good way to go out and kind of control some of the basic settings on here. That basically covers most of the options. Here in the email verification portion, there's a lot of different ways, and basically this can go out and register the accounts that you need to go out and post onto different platforms. There's a lot of different ways to get your emails. I mean, you can go out and create them yourself if you want. There's Fiverr gigs that you can find that you can also purchase email accounts on. I've used both of these services over here. Wizmail is a good one. You also have Account Creator. All these are really good. I haven't actually bought accounts from theirs, but both those services are really good if you want to save yourself some time. When you get these lists, you could just import them in from from the file that you get from your Account Creator or the Wizmail, and it'll plop in a bunch of different emails in here. You can come in and you can test. Once you get your emails in here, I mean, basically, you have filled all the information in here, depending on which service or whatever you use for it. And you can put in as many as you need. Like if you want to keep entering them in, you can do that too. If you want to do it manually, as opposed to the import option. But basically, once you get them all in, you want to just make sure you test it. You just want to make sure everything's good. And just wait a minute and see if this will verify for us. All successful. So you can see that turned green there. It means it's good. You also want to check to make sure it didn't get blacklisted. Blacklisted just sometimes get burned out, and if you're doing too many, especially like blog comments, I would say, can actually cause some problems. The platforms over here that you're posting to that do like hundreds of thousands, you'll have to rotate through emails over time. So you just want to put in, maybe a group of 10, 15 emails, so you don't have to keep updating those all the time. But to check on the blacklist to see if it's there, you would just hit blacklisted all. Just give it a minute. So it turned green, so it means it's not blacklisted. So this is a good, I just put this in manually, so I know it's not that, but just for example purposes. Anyways, and then your settings down here, you need to wait in between the logins, use proxies, you want to delete the link when it's found, not to clutter up your inbox or anything. And those are basically the overview of the email verification. It's not too complicated. In your notes is nothing more than just showing when something gets created. This is when the email verification was, or the email was created on. So not a big deal. It's just all just kind of basic stuff in here. So most important areas you want to pay attention to is your data and your options. So we'll stop with that and go to the next video. Hello everyone, welcome to this next video in your GSA training. I have to apologize, I was watching some of the other videos and I do use a lot. Anyways, it's kind of hard when you're sitting here trying to think. But diving in, as you can see on the screen here, we are going to go over Content Machine. Content Machine is the software I use to build the content for GSA, for the links that it's going to go out and build. It beats having to go in and do it manually. You can still go do it, you know, as we discussed that in the last videos, but I just want to show you guys how to use this real quick because it'll greatly increase the speed and how you build your campaigns. So going over this, you want to go in, use your built-in scraper. Also, if you want to mix the scraper with you know, some of your videos, or not videos, some of your content that you write, you can do it that way. It'll give you a better uniqueness and sometimes better quality when you're putting your content together. It's up to you. You can also just go out and do straight locally saved files. So whatever you want to use, it's up to you guys, but what I typically use is just the scraper. Scraper settings, I won't open that up, but basically you're going to go into that and import your proxies that you're going to use. You can use either public or private, doesn't really matter as long as you can, as long as it has a high success rate with scraping the content. And I usually, at the very top, you'll see there's a section there. I'll scale it down to 30 ms on the top setting. It's just right above where you input your proxies. But to maintain, you know, the passwords and everything I have on my proxies, I'm not going to show that, but this is where you would go and look at that. Campaign settings, there's not much in here. I usually keep this basically the same. Avoid adult content on, unless of course you're in that space, you probably turn it off. Everything else in here is basically the same. 20, 20, 20, 30, basically what I use, and I just go ahead and hit apply. Your campaign name, I usually just try to name this to be whatever the project is. In this case, for instance, we do Nashville SEO, so that's what I would call this, and maybe I would just name it 1, just to keep track. Maybe I'm going to do other versions. I'm going to need more content down the road. So I just always try to assign it something that I can figure out what it is later. Main keyword be Nashville SEO, of course. You got second keyword would be Nashville web design and Nashville internet marketing services, as that's also a good keyword I found in my own market out here in Salt Lake City. You don't have to go with a city specific. Sometimes it's best just to go after your general, so you can kind of see what your competition and stuff is. But for this video we'll just take out the Nashville, because really we just need the relevant content, and it's not going to make that much difference the cities in there for populating this, because we'll input the keywords in that will make it relevant for links down the road. So with that, we go into content quality. There I go again with the I apologize. You got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. This just depends on the kind of quality you want to have for your links. You know, you're going to have a less spun version on tier 1, whereas you go down to tier 3, it's going to be a higher spun, but maybe not as good readability. You could kind of pick whatever you want to use on that, but you know, you probably want to go with a tier 1 or tier 2 just to make sure you get a good quality article in there. And again, if you want it up here, again, you can mix it with, you know, you go to iWriter and have some articles written, you can mix them together. It makes for a good quality, unique set of content. And then for the spinner, you can use a bunch of different ones. Content Machine even has its own spinner, which you can see here. I actually use the best spinner that I put in here. And you can go into credentials and configure that. You know, you put all that in. So that's basically what you want to do. Protect keywords on or off. This really doesn't matter. I just leave it off. You'll see what we're going to do with this as we go on. Images and videos. You could do either or. You know, I usually try to pick a random just because it's good to have variety in when you're building content. But you don't have to. It's not really important. You can just do, you know, just an image or none. Doesn't matter, but I like randomness, so go into that. Advanced settings. It's not really, I mean, you can set this to be, you know, where you want it on your page, how wide the iframe's going to be, resizing it, that kind of stuff. Use old YouTube code, you know, it doesn't really matter. I don't worry about this too much. So let's go back into here. This is where you could add your own content if you want to mix it in with the scraper. We're not going over that portion. I just want to show you guys how to quickly build the fields that you need to start getting GSA up and running. So you click on next. Well, article tweaks was something else you could do. Let's go back and click on article tweaks here. You know, I usually do like a 6 to 11 in here. Paragraph spacing, I'll do a blank line. Make sure that's split there. Article tags, you do 2 to 5. You don't have to go nuts with that. You know, just use common sense on your settings here. And about me snippets, I just leave it blank basically. It doesn't really matter to me. But you can, Content Machine is pretty powerful in the way that you can actually modify every little piece of the content settings, but that's generally what I do for article tweaks. Bookmark tweaks, doesn't really matter, about the same settings. I usually use the defaults. Anyways, you go into next. In here you can specify how many links you're going to use. I usually just do one contextual link, and we'll get GSA to, you specifying the GSA settings that we went over to basically change that up, but you have to have at least one in there, so make sure you put at least one. Article body links and resource box, I usually leave 0. You can put them in there, doesn't matter. Whatever your preference is, you can see as links are being built if you want to modify that down the road. Output formula, HTML, typically what I'm using. So main keyword is where you're going to come in and you're going to import your URLs and your keywords. It really doesn't matter on this because we're just looking for, we're going to set this to be a generic %URL% when we import it into GSA, so they would all get replaced with the keywords and targets that we want anyway. So you can really put whatever you want in here, but for simplicity purposes and so everybody's kind of following along, we'll go ahead and use some of the URLs that we've dug up here from the project that Mike and I are working on. So I'm just going to grab a few of these URLs and we're going to slap them in. Now let's grab the Facebook and we'll throw that in there. You can grab them all at once. I didn't do that good of a job of cleaning them up, just so I want to know what they are next to it. Grab a YouTube video. You know, make sure you're doing one per line. And we'll do one more. Let's see, let's pick out, let's do the Foursquare one. It looks fun. So we'll come in here and put in the Foursquare. So then we've got our URLs. Keywords, you get to do the same. You just could put in, this is where you would want to put in your geo-targeted if you're not going to use GSA settings to set that, which you probably will if you're following along with this video. But you don't have to, it's just an option. Nashville SEO, Nashville Internet Marketing, and I believe the other one was Nashville Website. And the 3 main keywords that we're going after: bad spelling, oops, no period. Okay, down here you can specify how much you want. You know, if you want to put in brands, so maybe you want to do like 90% keywords and we want it to be just Nashville SEO.org as the website. Down here you can specify follow or no follow. I typically will pick about 80-20 on that range, so you can just hit OK on that. And up here you have the option of coming in and actually putting in image links. I recommend doing that, and you do the same thing, put in the same URLs that you put in up here. So I'll pause this and input those in real quick. Okay, pause the video just now. Got those URLs put in for the image link, so if it drops an image into the article, you're going to end up with a link going back to the site. It's just good to mix it up. You know, do as Greg teaches in most of his stuff. He teaches don't do the same thing in everything. You know, mix it up a little bit, give it some variety. It's going to help you, get stuff indexed and not really leave a footprint as to what you're doing over time. Resource box links, typically do one, and your resource box links are basically the other authority sites that you would link out to. So for instance, you might pick like a wiki page, so wiki and SEO, go find something that's, go to Wikipedia if you want. Doesn't matter, you're just looking for an authority site. I believe Greg does have a plugin too that will go out and find these for you. But so I'll just grab this URL and we can throw it in and paste in there and just put in SEO or Nashville SEO. It's good to kind of link out to other sites that are authority, just to make it look like you're not trying to game for that specific URL. It's really good and helpful on money sites, but same goes hand in hand when you're using the automated versions of link building. And these just leave the same because it's not our site. It doesn't really matter. You could put no follow if you're concerned about link juice, but right now this is set to no follow. I'll just do follow because I don't care if it links out. That's just me. If you're concerned with losing page rank, just keep it down to no follow. So you just hit OK. So now we got 3 of these built. So now the next thing you need to do is go back, make sure that you put in the scraper settings for your proxy. You don't want to ban your IP on your home PC if you're doing this, or I recommend just throwing this up on the same VPS that you're doing all your other stuff with, so it's just all in one nice, organized space. You can come in here, you go build content, and it's going to go out and build this content, so I'll pause the video while this is taking place. Okay, everyone, it just got done running through and scraping the contents, and it's gone out and built everything we need. Once you put in the best spinner, it automatically comes in here and spins it using that tool. So it's all highly spun. It's basically what you need to make sure that you're going to be able to get all the fields in, and you're looking for uniqueness mostly for when you're posting with those links. Uniqueness, I found, has been what helps get the links indexed. You don't want to be regurgitating the same content out there. You're not going to get as high of indexing rate when you're building your links, and you can probably see how expensive this can be when you start adding up all the different tools and all the other things. One thing I did forget to mention at the beginning of this video, to pick up Content Machine, you go to contentmachine3.com up here, and right over here I just recommend just getting the lifetime license. If you're going to be a long-time user of GSA, Content Machine has been around and has gone well hand in hand with GSA for a while. So if you're big in GSA, I just recommend picking up the lifetime license. It's $217 right now. That price might go up, it might not. I think this has basically stayed the same price for as many times as I've visited the site. So anyways, just so you know where you can pick that up, I didn't want to leave that out. So coming back over to here, you got everything else that you need. You can come over here and preview, see what pops up here. You got your image in there. Here's your link that's popping up in there from the content. Optimized internet site is one of the toughest and most consuming jobs that one has to do manually. However, if using a Nashville Internet Marketing Elite software, this job suddenly gets to be kids play. At least this is what one of the thousands of search and shopping Elite software program customers thinks. It's not bad, not the best text, but again, you're getting the uniqueness. And then you'll see down here, this was that resource link box out that goes to that Wikipedia page that we picked. And so you're kind of hitting it from all angles. So, and you can go through and kind of pick each one. It's not anything too complicated in there. So basically, you're good to go on that. You just close that out. You want to come down here to under your action here, and you want to do build and export. And just click on that. You're going to pick on GSA pre-made. You can also use this for many of the other link building things. There's a magic submitter. Some of you might be using it for that. Just an easy thing to do. Change GSA settings. I always make sure I'm going to replace all URLs with the %URL%, because that way your URL that you're linking to in these articles will be dictated by what you've specified in GSA. Replace all keywords. Another good thing, you don't have to do this if you're taking more time to make sure your content's really well written and everything. And then that's basically all I do. Hit apply. That's good to go. You can create a template for this if you're changing a lot of settings on there. How many articles you like to create? I usually, it depends on how big your campaign is. I'll go with at least 20 typically, just for kicks. But that's basically what you do. You click export, and you just save this where you want it to be. This is going into, let's throw on the desktop here, call it Nashville SEO GSA content 1. And you're good to go. You just hit save. And that's going to plop that right down on our desktop over here. Now that we got our content exported, as you see over here, we just need to put that into GSA so it'll fill in all the contextual parts for us, so we don't have to sit there and fill all those out manually. So we can just close this down, or you can save this blueprint if you did a lot of custom settings in here and you want to come back to it and easily bring in the same settings that you did for this. It can be good if you're going to keep going out and doing the same stuff over and over again. Help speed up the future campaigns that you might be running. So you can just close this, and now we can go back in here. Built a project 1A just for the heck of it. We're going to come down here. You want to come into here and go into tools, autofill, and you want to use content machine and import, and it's going to ask you where to go. You can just grab all these, do control left click, grab them all, open. It's going to ask you which fields you want to use. I just use them all, throw them in, not too picky. Your keywords in here, you're going to want to make sure that that's not, go back up here. The keywords in here are going to be what you're wanting to rank on. So let's get all this and delete it out. And we want to fill that in with Nashville SEO and whatever others you want to do. Come into here, click on use keywords as anchor text. If you want, you can go back in here. You can import if you make a list. You can also export these if you use it for a future project. So it's just an easy way to basically create more than what you need. So we're just putting in a few of these other ones. I think the other, what was the other keyword? Can't ever remember. Was no, Nashville internet marketing. And there you go. Got our 3 keywords. You can obviously put as many in as you want. You make sure this check is here. If you remember from the settings videos that we did previous to this, target URLs would be, obviously what you're going to link to. This will probably be from our list. We'll come in and throw in the other ones that we were wanting to do. So you can just throw these in here. And you just go in and put each one of the URLs that you want to do. I don't think I need to go into how to edit, how to add them. You can click it in, hit add URL, enter the next one. You can also import in here. Edit all is kind of a useful thing, like the Google one is in there. You know, it's not something I want to keep in there, so just edit that out. And just go in there and just go in and keep adding. So you can go through here, and I'll throw into YouTube just so you can see for example's sake. There you go. So now if you want to come back in and get rid of some of these, you could. Just want you to be aware of how you do that. So you get your target URLs in here. You got your keywords in here that you want to rank for. Make sure this is checked. You can play around. Whoops. You can play around with these settings. You know, you want to use some generic. You want to use the domain. You adjust these percentages to what you feel works for you. How many keywords you want to build. At current, it would be doing mostly keyword anchors, but it would do 20% of your URL, and then 10% would be generic, as in like click here, or check this out, whatever. You also edit this and throw this crap in. Throw as many of your generic ones in here that you want. Helps gives you good dilution, and that's basically all there is. This one's basically good to go. You should know all the other settings that we went through in the previous videos. You hit OK, and let me change that to inactive, so we're just going to see this one going. You just hit start, and you'll start seeing it's starting to run through the list. You can see down here in the bottom right of the screen the capture break is working, and you can see up here you've got how many are submitted and how many are verified, and links per minute down here. It's a little low, but over time everything will pick up. And of course you can run more than just this campaign. This is just running as an example. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this little tutorial videos on GSA, and I hope you guys have success. You can always hit me up if you have questions, and just make sure that, you know, if you're running on lower machines, you want to play with your HTML timeout, your threads, and then there's another setting. One thing I'm not sure if it was clear enough, if you're searching for URLs, say we didn't have any URLs in here to use, that's one thing I forgot to add. Okay, so part of this video, when you come into here, since we didn't do a training on GScraper, if you're looking for URLs online, you'd hit search online for URLs, and in your footprints you would want to go and get footprint scraped for what GSA is going to post to. So say we're going to do all from articles, you just hit OK. You can add keywords if you want to make them scrape for these footprints with a keyword, as we went over in the other video. You just hit OK, and it'll run through. I typically ignore the unknowns and keep the identified, and just keep going through. Over time you'll build up a massive list. So I'm just going to close this. I use a different method just to show you. I don't think I showed you how to import the lists in there. So you want to import target URLs from file, and it's going to be wherever that file is saved that you did the scraping, either if you're using GSA or if you're going to use some other service as Scrapebox or GScraper. You would go grab that list, some lists that I've been building, so you can select all of these, you can select one of them. You know, we'll just grab a few just for fun, open them up, randomize it. So imported about 200,000 URLs into there. You want to make sure that you're not doing dupes and everything. Make sure you cancel out your dupes, and you just hit OK. and we'll start this up again as you can see. But basically, in a nutshell, that's what you're going to be doing to build your links. So hope everybody enjoyed the tutorial, and hopefully we covered all the steps you guys need, and that's about it.
All right, so we're in my top secret bunker in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm here with Jimmy. And Jimmy, we're going to go through using, combining Qzx300 with Detox. And we're going to get a bunch of fresh web properties to post from, to get lots of high quality PR links. We can get PR1s, PR2s, even PRs, 4, 5, 6, 7s. And they're going to be nice and fresh. And we're going to get unique, fresh IPs from the Qzx300 team to plug that into.
Right. Yeah, we're going to use their tools. We're going to go out and scrape. We're going to go harvest some targets to post to.
Okay. And then we're going to then combine that. We're going to filter it through Detox, and that's going to give us real fresh stuff and a big unfair advantage.
Yeah, keep you out of trouble with Penguin.
Okay, great. All right, so that's our quick preview, and now we're going to jump into the tutorials just with Jimmy here.
Hello everyone. We're going to go over Qzx300 in this video series. So you're going to want to, first of all, you have to go get this software. You go to Qzx300.com. I'm sure Mike will put a link down at the bottom underneath this video. It might be a little easier to click on. So while I go here, you get grab the Qzx300 Pro lifetime license, only $68. You know, it's very affordable. It's just a one-time fee. And then also, in addition, you want to use their proxies for this tool to be effective, or as effective as you can get it. That's another $66 per month if you're paying month to month, or you can do it quarterly if you're doing a ton of scraping. Really, for most of you, I'd say, you know, if you're hurting money wise, just buy it for $66 a month. Do it for 1 month and just scrape as much as you can in those 30 days, and then use that URL list until you're able to get into a more financial situation to go from there. But it makes all the world of difference with this tool if you just use their proxies. So I recommend doing that. It's a great option. It'll help you run smooth on this program. So from here, we're going to jump over to the server real quick. Okay, so we're here on the server. I'd installed Qzx300 here already. I just usually put this, you know, if you got enough space on your VPS, just throw it up on there. Depending on how much RAM you have, you might need to, you know, you might have to space it out as opposed to when your GSA is running versus when you're scraping. It might bog your server down too much. You just have to kind of see, you know, that depends on what kind of VPS you got. Anything over your 8 gig, you should be fine running both at the same time, as long as you're not doing too many projects in GSA. So just something to be aware of. So in here we go over some of the main settings. Your main settings are, you go in here, once you register, you're getting a user key. You're going to want to put this in there, and I always just auto sign up on load, so I don't have to go and get that user key each time. Anything else, you can name what it is that you're going to scrape for. You don't have to. I usually just save my lists as is and use typically the same settings for all of them. You can get a AA list from Qzx300. You know, this is typically, it's okay. It's a lot of blog comments, usually, sometimes the forum postings, but I don't use it for that. You're welcome to download those lists if you want. It doesn't hurt to throw in some extra lists and see if you can't find 1 or 2 good links out of those lists that they give you for free. I think you could download that once a day. So from there, you want to go over to proxy, and you want to make sure this is checked. Use proxy scraping and checking. And then you want to click on Get Proxies from Qzx300 Server. Now, if you just bought this, you should have free proxies. You don't have to buy that 66 per month for, I think, either the first 5 to 7 days you have the proxies for free. So if you're just getting started, you know, as soon as you get this up, just let it scrape, you know, for those 5 days or until they take away your proxies, because you can get a pretty decent sized list if you just let it scrape for that amount of time. So you want to click on this and say another instance. Oh, sorry about that. Hold on a sec. Go back. Okay, sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. We have to hold on. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, I had to go and reboot the server because it wasn't letting go of the proxies I had on the last instance. Anyways, we got this box checked. You want to make sure you get proxies from Qzx300 Server, and again, you'll be able to get these right away after you first purchase it. If not, you'll have to go out and purchase that package. And so that's basically all you got to do on there. You go over to Options. Now, these are the settings that I typically use. You do 500 in this first box. Maximum results per search is 500. Maximum results per page is 100. Results is going to be web because you just want to grab everything. Result time. You can narrow this down if you want something more current. If you're wanting something, if you're doing like a product launch or something, you want to find some links that maybe are available for you that has been recent. You can narrow this down by result time. I mean, if you're doing this for blanketing a page, I just recommend going out and just grabbing anything. It doesn't really matter. Your preferred language, you can narrow it down if you just want to use English or whatever. I don't care about this. Any link juice is good link juice in my book, as long as it does not have a penguin penalty on it. I usually skip this part. I don't show URL at scraping. It can bog you down on your memory, so I just try to avoid. I don't keep that checked, and I don't remove any results at scraping. It gives me more control, able to download and edit as I go along, because typically I'll just let this run and come back to it when I have time to go through and start doing the filtering and stuff like that. This one here, basically, it's going to create how many links get output into a file that you use to import into either back into this, or you can import it into GSA. I keep this at 50,000. You can go bigger if you want. 50,000 I found is kind of more of a manageable number on the GSA side. When you're importing, it doesn't take forever. And it's good for you too to just kind of be able to go and do a quick edit. What you want to get in the habit of doing is doing this, every day. You go through and run through 5 lists of your 50,000 links, do these filtering techniques that we'll show you, and then constantly getting that back up onto your GSA program to keep them running with fresh URLs. So anyways, I keep this at 50,000. Timeout, I set 15 seconds. Max thread count, 500. Process priority, you always put above normal. Want to clear the URL list before the start of scrape. You don't want to be mixing your lists together, so make sure that's checked. And remove used keywords at scrape finished. So all these are the settings I typically use on my options. So then we'll go on over to your scrape tab. In here, now let me clear this for a minute. So when you first get this, you're going to be able to, you're not going to have any footprints. And up here you're going to see an add button. You'll be able to go and get these footprints. You can either get them from people who are selling them, or I'll show you how to just grab them from GSA. Since we're using them for GSA, I want the footprints for GSA. So let me pause this and get that open real quick. Okay, so I pulled up GSA real quick. So you can go grab the footprints already predefined for you, because the way I look at it, you're using GSA to post to, so why would you be looking for footprints that it doesn't know how to use? You're just wasting time and speed. So you want to go in here, you got to click on options, and you want to go down here to advanced, and then they'll pull up this screen as already on. You got to hit tools, go to, where'd it go? Search online for URLs, and down here at the bottom left you're going to see add predefined footprints. When you click on this, it's going to pull up every footprint that GSA knows about and uses to post to. So you could come into here, and depends on what you want to scrape for. I do all of them all at once. I don't try to focus on any one of them. Now as you build out your list and you figure out which of the properties are posting better than others, you might not want to have it be searching for those footprints, just because you're not going to get as high of an output when you're posting your links. And you know, if you're not having verified links come up, that means you're just posting without any successful stuff going. So you might not do all of them, but for simplicity purposes we'll just show this. So we would add all from articles, and you just keep going. You know, if you just want to scrape for articles, you can go blog comment, add all from blog comment, and just go through and get the entire list, unless you're looking for a specific link type to scrape for. But anyways, this is going to give us all of our footprints. You can see all this that it's put in. This is a footprint that it uses. So we're going to take these and we're going to put these into GSA. So it's going to be scraping for this type of footprint and giving us those URLs. That means that they are usable by GSA. So let's pause this video and go back over real quick. Okay, now we're back on our server with GScraper. And so in here we've downloaded all of the footprints. So I downloaded all for all of the footprints that GSA knows about, and I just make, you know, one master list file. And you know, if you're just looking for certain types, you know, you don't have to add all of them in, but I just want GScraper spending its time looking for stuff that GSA uses and not that it doesn't. So we got that list. You would come into here, let's close this out real quick. You can go to import and save this main footprints, open it and give it just a minute. See at the bottom it says importing footprints. We've imported 1,324 footprints. So now it's got all the footprints it needs, and this is all the ones that GSA knows about. Now the next part you want to do is put in your keywords. I just have a general list here that I use. You're welcome to come up with any general stuff that you want to use, but basically you want to come in here, and this is where you'd put in. So part of the thing you want to do, half of your list you want to just be generic, and these are ones you're going to constantly build. The other half is going to be keyword specific for the project that you're building. So for this we'll just keep it the same, but if you already had a good list of general links that you're going to link build to, then you want to go in and be scraping for keyword specific. So in here, you know, you would put in you know, Nashville SEO, Nashville Internet Marketing Services, Nashville Web Design, so on and so forth. And you know, go throw in all your LSIs and everything. Just try to find as much relevant places to link to as you can. It's not going to hurt anything. So those are basically the settings that I use on this. I think everything else on here is the default. Next tab that you want to be concerned with is filter. The only filter I usually keep on is PR under 1. That helps filter out a lot of garbage that's out there. It's not something that's going to happen right away, but basically is what you do. I think all the rest of this is default. I don't think I ever mess with these settings. So we'll just keep it as is. So now we just want to go in. We got keywords, we gave it its footprints, we assigned its proxies, you know, so you're good to go. You can just hit start scrape and just give this a minute. It says the total number of searches more than 5,000. You need to enable the option or for save for your memory. You don't want to save to memory, it'll kill your machine. So just hit no on that, and it's gonna, you can see on here it's starting to crank up the speed of the average speed per minute on how it's scraping. Right now it's gotten to 6,000, 67. I'll just give it a full little while here so you can see how much it'll go. Just bear with me, it might be a little quiet time on the mic. So you can see it's kind of leveling out between 10 and 11,000 URLs per minute that it's actually scraping. And then you got your amount of proxies that's received from the server too. So it's rotating through those proxies for you. And obviously we put in all the footprints. So it's going to take a while for you to get a good part of percentage. You can see it says completed 0.00%. As this is going through the list, you'll see the blue bar going in underneath it down here. So, you know, let it run a few days and you'll start seeing that go up. So basically you just let this run for a little bit, and then I will stop this video and we'll jump into the next portion. Alright, welcome back everyone. The other video looked like it came out okay. Hopefully it's readable for everyone. So you're going to get something that, you know, the settings that we set up, it'll start outputting in the folder that you specify, and you'll start seeing folders like this, so it keeps track of when the days are that it's scraped. And you could just open these up, and then in each one of these files they've found 50,000 targets for each one. So, you know, when you let it run, you're going to get a huge list. This is why you want to kind of keep track of it every day. But we're going to show you how to filter these real quick so you can make sure that what you're using the post to is clean. So I'm just going to import one of those lists real quick, just for example's sake. Okay, so I just imported, it says 5004 URLs. So the first thing I do is we need to check and see, make sure your proxies are turned on, of course. And we're going to basically go and see what is the PR of these. And you can scrape for any of these things, you know, your Alexa, your index. There's a ton of things that you can scrape for. But to start off, we need to know PR. PR is one of the most important when you're trying to determine what you're going to post to. You know, you want to get the best juice, and it's typically a good sign of a non-penguin penalized site. So let's see if I can find, check Google PageRank by URL. You can change it to domain or top level, whatever you want to do, and you just hit do all. Now this is going out, and it is, you can see the blue bar moving down here. It's going out and checking the URLs of all of these. Shouldn't take too long. And we'll just give it a minute. I'm going to pause the video and let this finish out. Okay, so we just got done scraping. And that went through and checked, you know, it was 50,004 links, and it took about 4 minutes for it to go out and check the PR. That's not, you know, that doesn't take a tremendous time. You want to try and get about 10 lists or about 500,000 links a day. You know, it'll probably take you 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how good you get at this. But the key, you know, like, well, how do you get such good lists? It's by doing this. This is what you do every day. And to be good at something, you just have to put a little time into it. You know, nothing comes for free and nothing comes easy. You know, you have to do the work to get there. So the next thing, now that we check the PR, you can go through and check the outbound links and the no-follow and all that other stuff. It doesn't really matter. You can check the index of the links. Basically, when we throw this into link research tools next, which I'm going to show you how to do, that'll handle all that, so I usually don't worry about that portion in this anymore. If you don't want to pay for that, then you might want to check and make sure that the links are indexed. If they're not, unless it's some kind of PBN or something, you don't want to use it, because it's typically a sign of a penalty. So in here, we're going to delete all the ones that we checked that are under, you can see here, under a page rank of 1. So you just go through, you just hit do, and it's going through. You can read down here, it says deleting URL if PR is less than 1 has completed. How long did that take? That was like literally a second. So what we're left with out of the 50,000, which is not the best, but you have a good list of 5,974 here that now all have really good page rank, and you're looking good. You know, you'll have some duplicate URLs in here. The other thing you can do, you know, remove duplicate URL. Recommend that. With the way when you set up the GSA that we set it to, it shouldn't post to all of these different URLs that are the same root, if that makes sense. So you don't have to worry about it, but if you're not concerned about that, you'll be using multiple emails to do it. You just want to come in here and remove duplicate URL, hit do. It'll go through. It removed all of those. We're still left with 5,127, which is not, you know, it's not the best. It's not as good as we had for 50,000, but we basically got 10% of that are now all unique targets, and they're all really good page rank. You know, in here we got a PR7 sitting right here. You got PR6, PR4, PR5, PR4. So you got a lot of good PRs going in this list. So this is the key to making your blanketing a real success. Okay, so now that we got this good list and we've filtered for PR and we've gotten rid of the dupes, we want to go into list export because we want to keep this list. And you just do only URL. And it's going to save it to a text file wherever you want to call it. Let's just call this GSA filter 2. Okay, I'm just saving it to desktop. Okay, so it dropped it in over here. So now the next part, I use another tool that we're going to go to that's called linkresearchtools.com. And this does a lot of checking on the IP and everything else. And you also can check about 5 million links at one shot. So it also takes credits, though. This isn't free. I think the lowest one you can use is, I think it's $99 a month. But it just adds an extra layer of protection. It's also a great link research tool like Ahrefs or you know, Majestic. So it's great for that as well, but it's great for going through and, you know, if you want to fix penalized sites, it's a great tool to use for that as well. I just happen to use this in conjunction with GSA and finding bad links there. So, but, you know, you can go into plans and pricings, and you'd probably only need your starter one to begin with, but that will give you, let's see, it gives you 5 link detox credits. So, you know, you do 5 million 5 times for that. And the cool thing is you don't just end up with that. If you actually contribute and go through and check good or bad on the links, when you get it back, you can earn those credits back, and they give you credits for participating and saying if this is a good link or not. So anyways, that just gives you an idea of what the cost is that you're looking at. You probably look at, most people are just pick up that starter package. Okay, so I've already logged in here. So go into here. So when you'll go to Start Reports once you log in and you have your account here, and you're just going to scroll all the way down to Link Detox right here under Site Audit. We're going to open that up. Which site should be detox? It really doesn't matter. Just call it example.com. I don't really care because it's not going in any specific site. And you just want to do your automatic detection because we're using blanketing. You're not really concerned. It's not a money site that we're auditing, so we're just looking for pure bad links. So just use the default of automatically detect for gambling, adult, and like the pharmaceutical type stuff. And you want to come down here, just hit don't know for did you receive a spam action. You want to hit review mode, and so now we need to upload the list of links that we just downloaded from our GSA program. So hold on 1 minute. Okay, so we're back on the server here. This is the list that we went through and we filtered. It's not going to display our PR and all that because we've already filtered. We know that this is a good list because we just downloaded it after doing all that. So what you want to do is you want to take these URLs, copy them, and we need to paste them into an Excel file. Come back over here. In your Excel file, the way Link Research Tools works is you want to put URL at the top, and then just under it you're going to paste in all those links that we just got from the other file. Okay, so we just took that list, and underneath we pasted in all those other URLs that we downloaded from the list that we filtered out. So now this is ready. We just need to save this as oops. You're going to save it as a CSV. So we got that. You need to have a CSV. Obviously, if you have a Mac, you got to pick the other format. Just hit yes. We'll close this out. Okay. So now in here we have the file. You just need to go upload it. And you're going to pick upload your own backlink list. Go back to here where we downloaded that list. You're going to open it. You see that it uploaded here. And obviously, since you have a limited number of credits, the maximum you do is 5 million. Obviously, we only have 5,000 in here, so you want to build that list out to quite a bit before you actually run it in here. But again, this is just for example, so we're going to hit detox my site. And we'll just wait a minute. This will go through. It's queuing, so I'm just going to pause this until it gets done. Okay, so just got done running that detox report. It's taking a long time, and for simplicity purposes, we're just going to pull up this example report of something I've done on another project. So in here you'd see example.com. This is going to tell you what your average risk is for that. And basically you're going to come up with percentages of what's bad, kind of medium, and good. So basically you want to keep all your good and your moderate. Those are all good. I mean, moderate could be good as long as it's relevant typically, but since these aren't actual money links going to your site, they're going to be going to blanketing. Just grab all your moderate and all your clean, and those are the ones you want to keep. So, I usually click on show moderate because that's typically where you get the most from, and then you want to click on low risk. It's going to come through and find it. Very low risk. and that's it. Basically, you got a good set of links now from what we filtered, and in this instance, we would have removed 236 of those 5,000 links that we had, but we still kept a good portion more of what we can actually use to post with GSA with. So you just go in there and you upload them. Oh, I'm sorry, you can come in here, you re-download this list by clicking the CSV. It's re-downloaded this. You're going to come in here. You want to grab the URLs it's coming from. Whoops. Sorry, it would be in B. You just take all these, we'll copy them. And go back over to the server real quick. We just paste them into Notepad again and close this up. So now we know that they're good and safe from any kind of penguin filters. We know they're above a PR1. It's going to give you good link juice. We got rid of all the dupes. And I'll be posting to more than one URL at a time. And then all we got to do is go upload it into GSA. Let me pause this while I open that up. Okay, we got our projects open. We'll just put this into the project that we're working on, and you go down to import target URLs from file. We're gonna go grab that list that we filtered out, recopied and put back in right here. Open that up, randomize, yes, and imported 5,127 URLs to the project. So now we got a good amount of batch to go, and you just hit start and let it run. So basically, you wonder how many URLs does it take? Well, that depends on how quick you rank and depends on the competition of the keyword. But to be successful with your blanketing method, you always want to be working on your list. You always want to be getting as much power and as much diversity as you can, and that's going to keep you going for a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed these video tutorials and hope you have great success on blanketing your front pages. Alright. Again, you're always welcome to hit me up with any questions you have if I didn't cover anything quite right in here.